Hi, I'm Larry Dignan from Constellation Insights, and we're here with Marco Chekovic. He is Chief Digital Officer at M1 and a Supernova 2024 winner. Hi, Marco. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Larry. Thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here. And it's a great honor also to get this award. So thanks for that.
Yeah, it was an interesting project. Why don't you kick us off just kind of walking through what you were trying to do?
So it all started in 2019 with a new leadership. And I think at that point, it was already very clear that the world is changing around us in Singapore, and especially for the telco players in Singapore. At that time, we realized that the customers' needs and aspirations has changed dramatically. Shifting more towards the digital and towards the hyper-personalized offering expectations. We also had a very competitive market here in Singapore. We got a fourth large operators and dozens of MVNOs on only 5.5 to 6 million people in Singapore. So it's a very, very competitive market. So these were some external factors that really made it clear that we need to do something about it. But also internally, we realized that, we were lagging behind when it comes to our reaction time to market, because of our legacy systems, because of our data being scattered across multiple databases, but also because of our culture as well. It was very much, vendor delivery oriented and lacking a little bit of flexibility and agility in terms of how we address the pain points of our customers.
Now, M1 is known for personalized plans. How does that work on the consumer level?
So on the consumer level, we pursued actually our vision of having a fully flexible, hyper-personalized plans. We went as far that on our website, we actually provided a slide bar for our customers where they can really kind of smoothly select all the parameters of their plan. And I think because that was a bit complicated, we then reduced this to a couple of options. But ultimately, the hyper-personalization is offering many permutations and variations to our consumer plans. Some calculations say up to 6 million, which is exactly the number of people, the citizens in Singapore. So it's really endless possibilities for our customers. But I think it's more important than having that complexity in the offering is really the ability to really understand our customers by doing a micro segmentation and also providing a hyper personalized content and offering to the customer when they are actually interacting with us. And these are the capabilities that are coming from our data lake, from our digitized journey, but also our front-end capabilities, including the CDP and new web technologies that we implemented as well.
So, to deliver that customer experience, you had to move to the cloud and consolidate a bunch of applications. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes. So in 2019, I think beside of the push and pull factor and the sense of urgency, it was very important to determine the vision and the trajectory, for our transformation. And at that moment, we actually adopted the cloud first strategy with the microservices and API backed solutions. That actually enabled us to move in a very flexible and solution-oriented manner. We really completely changed the delivery paradigm for something that was more like a design, deliver, and manage to something that was more agile, based on discovery and solutioning, and based on the best-of-breed products that we selected and stitched together. Doing all of that was really brand new to us, but also to our partners. So it required a lot of learning, a lot of cultural shift as well, and I would say also very, very strong and persistent leadership also to overcome all the challenges internally, externally. Um, yeah.
So, how did your data evolution occur with the cloud enablement stuff? Was it the same time? Did you do cloud then data? How did that work?
So it was all done concurrently at the same time. So our selection of the data lake was at the same time when we selected the best of breed products for our channels, but also our backend services. So as we were developing the solution, we were also developing our data capabilities, ingesting also first the loads that were most critical, and then also enriching this by new loads as well. Um, Over the period of time, we also enriched our AI ML capabilities, which were fueling our personalization engine as well. So it was all very much evolutionary, but starting from a very revolutionary, fresh outlook in terms of where we want to go when it comes to this transformation outcomes.
And how does this set you up for generative AI in terms of, I guess what does Gen AI add in terms of, further personalization, offers, and that kind of thing?
So I think it's a great question. This year, I think we discussed this in many, many forums. When it comes to Gen AI, I think there are two perspectives. One is that our data lake and being asset light with a cloud first strategy, we are much more flexible and faster to innovate and experiment. Consolidated data lake with a cloud data lake also gives us some capabilities that are very much future oriented when it comes to the Gen AI. The other part of our innovation journey is also partnering with our partners in terms of their capabilities and their investments in the innovation, and having the partners who are actually fronting this area in their own domain really helps a lot, to seize those innovations as well in terms of piloting and POCs. And there is a lot of going on, be it internal experimentation that we are doing on the data lake, but also with our partners when we are exploring together to actually hit that kind of a secret formula for the future when it comes to Gen AI. But I would say that, this year was mostly, Larry, on the awareness and learning, raising the capabilities internally, being able also to understand what Gen AI truly is and what it is not, and being able to kind of segregate the signal from the noise, and at the same time equip ourselves, to better understand and utilize these opportunities in the future. Next year will be more about the specific use cases and hopefully soon the outcomes as well that we can implement.
So M1 also has a unit that sells to enterprises too. How does the personalization between consumers and enterprises, how's it different?
Right. So when it comes to the consumer market, we are talking about pretty much a similar or more or less contained set of products. And our hyper personalization is really about being able to understand our customer needs and tailor made these products based on their needs and requirements. So this is really playing within the known ecosystem, which is growing, but growing more organically. When it comes to the enterprises, the expectations are slightly different. And we are really talking more or less about the bespoke solutions for each of our customers. So that's where we are seeing that the digital first is not really the answer to what the customers expect from us. This is more a high touch area when it comes to the account management and the interactions. But when it comes to the solutions, the digital capabilities are helping us to be faster in terms of how we design and implement these solutions, be it on the billing, specific requirements, account management requirements, all the way to the solutions that can be incorporating some partnerships as well when it comes to delivering, designing, or adding on top of what we are offering as a digital service provider. So there is a.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think that's about it, Larry. Yeah, go ahead with the next
No worries.
question.
So what does the tech stack look like, and what did you decide to build versus buy?
Yeah, so the tech stack was really consisting of the best of breed applications. We selected, I'm not sure, should I mention the vendor names? Maybe I should avoid that, Larry, right? Vendor names, or is that okay?
It doesn't,
Some of the
it
key
doesn't matter to
partners.
me unless it's a problem for M1.
Right, okay. So we decided to go for a best of breed and best of suit set of applications. And we choose a couple of strategic partners to actually embark on this transformation with us. Infosys was our key partner when it comes to the delivery as a SI and a partner throughout the delivery and operations process. We selected pretty much most of our Salesforce product line Then on top of that, we had some other partners like Nokia and Box. So altogether, that was really a combination of the products where we believed by, you know, investing some time based on the agile delivery methodology, we can arrive to the outcomes that are future-proof and that are really addressing the expectations of our customer for the hyper-personalization, but also reducing the time to market for us in the future. So the choice of this technology also required a strong engagement from us. As I mentioned before, in terms of the discovery and solutioning, nothing was really built, tailor-made, and nothing was really ready-made and delivered. We really had to integrate and continuously develop this solution with over pretty much 30 releases. So it was an iterative process with the agile delivery methodology.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think you would have to build a lot on top of what you chose, just because what you're doing, as far as personalization goes, is pretty advanced in terms of, you know, where other telecom players are right now, at least the ones I've seen. I mean, that level of personalization takes a lot of coordination for sure.
Larry, does certainly. I think I must say that at the very beginning, we really assumed that a lot of this would come outside of the box, right, out of the box. But we realized quite soon that a lot of customization in specific areas was required. For example, our sales console had to be fully customized, you know, to accommodate to the needs of our sales agents and address the customer expectations as well. And some other areas as well, we need to really go deep and customize. So I think you're right to say that. The other thing that I would like to mention, that there was no really recipe based on which we could operate, because a lot of things that we were doing was quite new, not only for us, of course it was new to us, but it was new to our partners as well. And for example, how to migrate the large-scale customers to the cloud platform, how to do that in a high volume over a short period of time. That was also very new, because you then face the constraints of actually sharing the platform in a public cloud with other customers. And while you need a very high capacity over the short period of time, this is not all yours to take. Then you need to coordinate and get some exceptions and really plan your performance throughout migration and throughout the life cycle of the platform. So these were all some new challenges, and it was really, I must say, now looking back, it was very interesting, you know, to solve that problem and to really put the right resourcing at the right time to the right problem. And I think that kind of a foresight of the risk and the challenge was very important. Maybe I didn't emphasize enough, but I truly believe that the culture and the leadership was one of the key elements, if not the most important elements, you know, in terms of the success of this transformation. From leadership point of view, from our CEO and the rest of the leadership, we had a very strong commitment. We have kind of a famous weekly CEO call, and every week for the last 4 years, we have the weekly Friday CEO call, where there is a thorough review of all the KPIs and the progress of the transformation. And then on top of that, we have a very clear culture and the values, you know, that are communicated and adopted by the organization. Keep it real, we own it, and be sunshine. And I think these are very powerful, you know, statements, you know, that we all can interpret in our daily work in terms of how we address these challenges.
What advice do you have to other CXOs that are going through this transformation or thinking about a transformation like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that, you know, it really is important to have that leadership commitment. I think that is something that is absolutely a mandatory thing. The secondly, I would say also culture goes hand in hand with that. I think the third thing is really ensuring that you have a very strong delivery and execution engine, which is based on defining and measuring the progress and the outcomes. And I've seen quite a few times that, you know, the definitions are wrong or the measurements are not being taken that seriously. I think keeping it real based on the data, based on the fact throughout the life cycle of the project is very, very key to navigate. And I think, you know, for all of us being the leaders in transformations, it's very important to be also very much real about the challenges and uncertainties, because there will be unknowns and there will be unknown unknowns as well. And it's going to be very important to be honest and really face those issues. Sometimes it even is a matter of pride, to admit, oh, I haven't seen that. Maybe this is something that I should have seen. But being honest and being humble and facing those issues, putting the resources at the right time to the right problem, I think that's also very key, in terms of the journey to success when it comes to these transformations.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Good stuff.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks a lot.